Hello everybody and welcome to Manchester Explorer. Today I'm just going to be randomly biking around and showing you guys some scenery, as there's going to be a lot of heavy editing. But anyways, we're located at the Amoskeag traffic circle. And what I noticed here the other day is there's an actual apple tree here. There's a couple of them. So at one time there was an apple orchard here, way back in the day. But while we're here, let's check out the Amoskeag School, or what was the Amoskeag School. And there it stands proudly. And here's an older photo of it. There was a smaller school prior to this one, but I don't think it's standing anymore, as I did bike around here a couple weeks ago looking for it, but I do not see it. But here's a picture of the original school. And it's kind of neat how they put that pencil in the corner of the building. That's become a well-known landmark throughout the city. And while we're here, we'll get some footage of the bridge and traffic circle, which as we all know is a mess. If you live around here, it's just a traffic nightmare, as it's currently getting revamped. They're going to be changing a lot of stuff here, as I just want to get some footage of it. But they're starting with the bridge renovation, and then they're going to work over to where the traffic circle is. And as you can see by the current state of this road, that it's needed to get some work for many years now. And I don't cycle around this area too often, as I find it quite dangerous. So we'll get some footage of this bridge before it gets remodeled. And as you can see on the right side, the other bridge is well on its way to getting a new platform. I'm hoping that they repaint all the steel work that's underneath. As from down below, it's actually a fairly nice looking bridge. So no, all this work, they'll make it good for another, my guess is 30 years. As it's all concrete pillars, and concrete does not last forever. But anyways, let's head over to my next location. We are now in the corner of North and Bay Street, and this is a beautiful area full of beautiful 1800s buildings that are all very well cared for. But I just wanted to get a photo of this building right here. A lot of people think this was a train station, but it was actually a carriage house, as there used to be a line of buildings in this parking lot. There was 3 beautiful homes here, such as the one on the right, that got destroyed. It may have happened during the urban renewal project during the 1960s, but I'm not sure. But down below you can see the footstones on Elm Street. There's 3 or 4 of them, and that's where people used to step off of their carriages. They'd step off onto those stones. So whenever you see those, there used to be a house here, or a house there. But here's a few photos of this carriage house as it was older. And I did an extensive video about the missing houses on North Elm Street, so please check it out, as I put a lot of work in that video, and it's really hasn't gotten many views. which is unfortunate, as I don't think a lot of people are really interested in history or Manchester at all, because that was a really good video, and I figured it would have gotten, you know, at least 10 or 20,000 views by now, but unfortunately it hasn't. So please watch it and share it, as I'd really appreciate it, because it's taken me a lot of motivation to make videos like that, because they take a lot of time. They really do. I know a lot of you probably think it just takes me like 4 hours to pull up a video like that, but it doesn't. It takes literally days between the research, finding pictures, going out in the field, editing, and the whole thing. It's a lot of work. So please watch that video. I'd really appreciate it. And we'll head over to my next destination. Right here in the corner of Salmon and Union, you can see that house, which is mostly original, but this house in the corner, that was once a gorgeous building before it got vinyl sided. I can only imagine what that used to look like. It's kind of sad when you see that. There's this building also, which is in dire need of attention. It does have the original slate roof on it, but it's definitely falling apart. It's very sad. All they have to do is keep up with the paint. As now it's going to cost a small fortune to repaint that. We're on the corner of Harrison and Oak Street. That's a neat house. Very unique. And not to sound like a broken record, but at one time that was an exterior wooden house. So who knows what it used to look like. But I think I'm just going to take a left here on Prospect Street. I believe I've already filmed this, but I'll film it again, as there's a series of beautiful homes up here. They're kind of tucked away, as not many people drive in this area, so I like to share these beautiful buildings with people. All around here, they're all tucked away. It's a very nice area here. I try to imagine it before the automobile and all the roads were paved. You know, there was no cars parked everywhere. Yeah, these were all 1800s buildings. And there's a couple pretty Victorians here. I believe there's 4 or 5 of them that are still standing. This one here, which isn't, the exterior isn't original, obviously, but that one is. Morning. Good morning, sir. That one's for rent. I can only imagine how much. And right here is the corner of Myrtle and Belmont Street as I'm heading towards Derryfield Park. But there's a few houses here that show some age, as this is a road that's less traveled. I actually quoted on this tenant building on my right, this blue one, as I used to be an exterior and interior painter and carpenter. And they didn't hire me because I was too much money. I wasn't cheap, as I used to do really good work. And I could tell whoever they hired did a half-assed job. They just painted over the loose paint. I can just tell by looking at it. But that's a pretty house right there with the turret on the side, as well as the one across the street. and that one's vinyled. See the difference? A lot of the sidewalks within this city definitely need an overhaul. Things are just very poorly planned in this city. Maintenance is just sporadic. Like they'll redo like one section of sidewalk and then move on to the other side of the city, do a section there. You know, they just gotta stay in one area and just complete it, and then move on to the next, and simply go in a rotation. But anyways, this used to be the town pound or the city pound. So when people used to find, you know, stray animals, especially cattle back in the day, they'd end up here. This is dated to 1916. And I'll show you guys a few older pictures of it. So if any of you are ever wondering what this door in the middle of this field is for, that's what it was for. When people's horses used to get loose, you know, they'd often end up here. And before we head up the hill to where those towers are, I'll give you guys a quick glimpse of Derryfield Park. I don't know if you can see that, probably not, as this camera doesn't really zoom in or capture things that are far away, but there's two bald eagles right there just circling. But obviously this ballpark has some age. You can tell just by the bleachers. And I'll share a few pictures of this park from back in the day. And there's also a very nice view here, as it faces west. You can see the Uncanunic Mountains, as well as Joe English Hill, which is located in New Boston, which I will make a video about at some point, as I've been up there a few times in New Boston. It's a nice field. Nicer than the fields that I had when I was playing football as a youth. We were all playing on dead grass back then. But right here is a really nice view, as I was saying, facing west. Right now I'm going to head up on top of the hill and we're going to go check out Weston Observatory Tower. We're now on top of the hill and this is the Weston Observatory Tower. I've already done a fairly detailed video about this, as well as the quarry that I'm about to show you, although I was off on a little bit of information about this tower. So I do apologize for some of you that picked up on it. But this tower used to be open to the general public 12 months out of the year. But it's now closed off due to modern society, as during the 1960s is when, you know, we started to be less civil. As if you can imagine, if these gates were open, this place would be graffitied and everything would be vandalized. All these windows would be smashed out, all the spindles on the top floor would be knocked off. That's modern society for you. It's kind of a vague memory, but I'm pretty sure that this was still open during the 1990s, as I believe I've been in here. Again, I'm not sure. It's just one of those memories that I'm not sure if they're real or not. But that's the Weston Observatory Tower. And there's two old cannons here, and the one on the left keeps sinking. Every time I come up here, it seems like it's getting lower and lower. And here's a couple older photos of this area, just to show you guys. And right here is part of a, I guess a reservoir system, but there's never any water in it. And the reason for that, again, just my opinion, is I believe people hop the fence and they go swimming here. So the city probably just keeps it empty. Or it's reserved for emergency situations. But here's another nice shot of this area. I've also come up here and I've done some metal detecting in the past, and I did pull up a couple of coins, a couple silver coins that were fairly old. I haven't graded them or seen what they're worth, but as well as shell casings and a lot of miscellaneous stuff. But there's a ton of bottle caps here, as people used to be able to just drive up here, as this used to be a party spot. That's part of the reservoir system as well. But all around here, there's a lot of trails that loop around the entire hill. I'm not obviously going to show you guys all of them at the moment. I wasn't even going to make a video today. I was just going to go for a bike ride, and I'm like, well, I'll just bring my camera. As during this time of the year, I like to get as much activity in as possible, as we know the cold weather is coming in fairly quickly. Within 2 months, it's going to be cold out. And then I'll be in the gym doing this on a stationary bike, which is extremely boring. That's why I enjoy cycling. In my opinion, it's the best form of exercise because it's actually fun. Nothing against, you know, people that jog. Much respect to you guys. It's not an easy thing to do, but I just don't see any fun in it. To my left is where the quarry is. I'm not going to go down there, as I already had an elaborate video made of that during the winter, which is a pretty cool video. But right here is the McIntyre ski area. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. It's nice to see people up here. You rarely see people up here. It's kind of strange. It's such a beautiful area. I think people are just lazy. They don't want to climb up the hill. But this offers a nice view. I wouldn't doubt on a good day if you could maybe see the peak of Mount Washington from up here, but I'm not sure. Probably not. As much as I want to cycle down this hill, I'm not going to, as I want to head to another portion of the city. But anyways, I just wanted to show you guys the top of this hill. I just did a couple laps up here. There's a nice trail system up here, as I was saying. There's a couple fire roads up top. There's a lot of footpaths as well. I honestly don't think many people in the city even know this is here, which is kind of crazy. But for all of you who've never been up here, I'll show you one of the ways to get up here. Good morning. I swear to God, this is the most amount of people I've ever seen come up here. To the left, I believe there's a gate where you can drive a car up to and walk up the remainder of it. Or you can park at Derryfield Park and pretty much go straight up the hill. And to my left and right, there's various paths, like one right there. It's been a while since I've been up here, but I used to, when I lived on the other side of the city, I used to come up here for mountain biking on occasion. Yeah, I just climbed that on my bike. I didn't video it, as nobody wants to hear me huffing and puffing. But anyway, that's how you guys can get up here, one of the ways. And I'll head over to wherever I'm heading next. And I decided to just go down Highland Street, as I don't believe I've videoed this area yet. As again, for all you who are new to this channel, I just like to document as much as the city as possible, just to create a timestamp for future generations. But I see a line of beautiful buildings here. These are well-maintained 1800s buildings. Some of them may be earlier 1900s. I've actually never been on this road. That's a big one. Doing some work to the front porch, and they're doing it correctly, which is nice to see. They're restoring it instead of smashing it. It's obviously probably not the original siding, but it might be. There's a nice turret on the side of it, as well as a large carriage house. That's a gorgeous building. To my left, you can see the Derryfield Golf Club. Is that what it's called? I don't play golf, so the Derryfield. Golf would be a bad thing for me, because I would consume too much alcohol. Let's put it that way. Stay away. But we'll continue up Highland Street. Nothing wrong with golfing though. Seems like it's fun. Let's get some speed here. I also just installed it's pretty much a piece of foam that goes over my GoPro, and hopefully it's silencing the wind, or at least dampening the wind sound. Amherst Street. We're just going to continue on Highland. I often get distracted. But that was a very pretty area. You'll find that whenever there's a hill with a view, there's usually nice houses or nice buildings in general. We are now in Hanover Street. Another road with some of the nicer buildings within the city, as this used to lead to a theater district. And there actually used to be a trolley that used to go up and down this road that would bring people downtown before the automobile. I know we all love the automobile, but the city was much prettier before it, and a lot quieter, that's for sure. The whole world was, actually. A lot less busy. But we're going to take a right on Hubbard Street, because I don't believe I've been up here yet. I may have, but I've been up here, I just don't know if I've filmed it. Two nice houses there, they're both pretty much identical. They're actually multi-families. They might have been a house at one point. Ooh, that's quite a climb. There's a looker right there on the corner of Amherst and Hubbard. Beautiful home. They don't build them like that anymore, folks. Nice botanical garden. And we'll head down Concord Street, and I'll film anything if I see anything interesting. I'll just keep filming. These are all nice houses. I smell fire. Somebody's burning something. Because I'm pretty sure there's a fire ban without the entire state right now due to the drought situation. We'll cross over Beacon Street. Some beautiful multi-family buildings here. They're all taken care of. I've already videoed this beautiful house on the corner of Lowell and Beacon. As you can still, it still has some of the window awnings on it, which were very popular during the early 1900s. I'm surprised those are still here. Gorgeous tenant building though. Another beautiful building that's in disrepair. So whoever owns it, please take care of it. It needs a paint job. But we'll head down to the inner city and see what we can see today. I've already videoed Low Street, as we're going to take a left on East High Street as we're heading down towards the city. But right here is an underground cable box, or a way to get to it. You don't see many of these around anymore. That's kind of neat. I'm old enough to remember all the fire pole stations that used to be on the corner of many of these city blocks. I try to keep my eyes open to find those, the old pole stations, but I can't seem to find any. I don't think there's any more left. But there's another one right there. That's kind of interesting. That's very old. Beautiful building. I've always liked this area, just the way all the streets just kind of intersect with each other. Even though it's kind of a rundown area of Manchester, sadly. But it's still honestly not that bad, in my opinion, compared to most cities. But the roads here are very narrow, as originally this was obviously constructed before the automobile, as this was all horse and buggy access. But yeah, there's a fair amount of crime around here. I mean, unfortunately, that's the way it is at this moment in time. And hopefully it gets better. My camera shut off again. I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe it could be overheating. Although it's really not that hot out. This building right here used to be a looker as well. It's kind of sad. It's still there. I mean, if they'd remove the vinyl siding and restore it, it would look as nice as that blue building across the street. And we are on Maple Street. And I'm a good cyclist. I follow the traffic lights. I don't just bomb out in front of traffic. For one, it's annoying to drivers, and two, that's how you get hit. I'm very cautious, let's put it that way. It's a new trend. Everyone's putting paint over the bricks. I can't stand it. As in time, that paint's gonna fade and it's gonna peel and chip and it's gonna look like ass. That's the best way to explain it. Don't paint brick. Just don't do it. Oh, what's this memorial statue for? It's a Spanish War Veterans Memorial, 1898 to 1902, which was a forgotten about war. I've also done some metal detecting in this park, as the homeless people used to hang out here a lot, so I'd come here during the day and I'd find like $10 worth of just loose change from them laying down on the ground and the change falling out of their pockets. I guess we'll just continue down Hanover Street. Oh, I regret shutting my camera off, as I didn't want to just waste time sitting there in traffic. Somebody blew a red light doing about 30. As I was saying, you gotta be very cautious cycling or walking around here, because there's a lot of people that just do not follow the rules of the law. I mean, the laws of the road. Rolling through red lights is a new thing in Manchester. It's very common now. And here's Hanover Street, or what remains of it. There's a few buildings that are missing from back in the day, but it's still a beautiful area, and it was known as a theater district during the early 1900s and later 1800s. Yeah, there's no traffic. I'll be all right. And we'll take a left here to see what's going on with the new construction project. See how that's coming along. And I think they're trying to revitalize this road also. I believe this is what, Manchester Street? There's a few of these buildings that have been getting some work recently. They replaced a lot of the windows and whatnot. Is this Manchester Street? I'm having a brain fart here. But yeah, this construction project's coming right along. I believe there's another building being built where that concrete building in the distance on the left that you can see, I believe that one's coming down too, which is the old police station. And there's going to be another apartment building that's going to be built there. And we'll head downtown to Elm Street for a little bit and maybe go to the Millyard, and I will conclude this video as I do have to work today. I have a job working, a second shift job. I have to go in for 4 and I work till midnight, and I honestly love it because I get up at like 8 in the morning and I have the whole day to do whatever. So I have a lot more free time than somebody working like a 8 to 5 or getting out at 4, as by the time you get home, you eat and you sit down, you don't want to do anything. So I love working second shift. It's great. So I have like 6 to 8 hours per day to just do this. You know, I was a former contractor, and my right shoulder started to get sore, so I immediately just stopped. I always told myself that when my body starts to break down, that I would just immediately quit and not push myself through it, as I don't want to be, you know, a broken down man at 55 years old. Again, more graffiti on the bricks. Kind of looks cool, but it's not my thing. Forbidden fruit. I didn't even know that was still open. That's funny. I've always liked this alleyway, as it really shows the age of the city, as the bricks have never been cleaned, so they get that oxidization and just age to them. But as you can see, there's still a lot of old pretty buildings that are remaining. That's a neat little connector right there. So all of you out-of-staters, Manchester is worth taking a visit to. You can spend 2 or 3 days here and keep yourself entertained. It's not a really large city, but there's a lot of history and little things to do around here that us residents take for granted. You'll often hear people saying, this place is boring. It's really not. There's a lot to do around here. And being in New Hampshire, you can drive in any direction, and you can get to the coast, you can get to the Lakes region, you can get to the White Mountains, you can get to Western New Hampshire, which has a lot of historic small villages that are beautiful. It's really a great state. I love living here. I'm just getting tired of winter, though, the older I get. As winter to me now is just, I look at it as downtime. As I obviously love cycling and hiking and stuff, but during the winter that pretty much stops. That type of graffiti I don't mind, as those are just ugly concrete pillars, and I think that looks great. Let's check the river level. Yeah, it's going pretty good right now. But there's an area behind me towards where the dam is that I really want to film, but I cannot get to it right now unless I want to go through about 3 feet of running water, as I'm all set with that. Painting this was a huge mistake. This looks hideous. I don't know why they did this. Especially the original granite structure. The retaining wall, they painted right over it. People go crazy with paint for some reason. I don't get it. It doesn't last either, you know, in a couple years from now, that's all gonna be just faded and chipped and whatnot. It's gonna look like crap. Right here, there's a neat little industrial era device. Looks like a hoist, a manual hoist. That's neat to see. I'm sure there used to be a lot of that stuff around here. A lot of it's just gone. A lot of it turned into scrap metal during World War II, during the war effort, I can imagine, as they needed steel to build tanks and stuff like that. Yeah, people that have spent years around here, we take this for granted, but this is a very beautiful city. It really is. And I wish people would respect it more. All you litterers and vandalism people that graffiti everything and smash everything, you ruin everything for the people that like the city. As we can no longer have nice things. It's kind of sad, you know. Society started to crumble during the 1960s for various reasons. I don't get into politics, but that's basically what happened. If you watch videos of pre-1960 America, all the cities, they were all pristine, litter-free. People were much more civil back then. And then something happened. I've always liked this little area here. And if you're a cyclist, the best time to come here is on a Sunday, which is today, as there's not many vehicles here. Best time would be early in the morning, because you can just do laps around here for hours. I love that fire escape. I don't know if it's original, but it could be. It seems too well built to be modern. But this area has always been beautiful. That's a massive building. The old, is that the Pandora Mill building? I believe it is. And to my right is the Gateway building, which I believe used to control the water flow of the canal that used to be here, if I were to guess. As Canal Street, it was named Canal Street because there used to be a canal there, and there used to be a gate at the end of it as they'd regulate the water. That exhaust pipe right there, that's original industrial era stuff. So that's kind of cool that they didn't knock that off. Yeah, that's a massive building. But anyways, I'm going to conclude this video, and I hope you enjoyed my little Sunday bike ride, and thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.